What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter. That is Magically Average, and today we are talking about, well, Mal again, but a very positive Mal. Mal every year puts out a you should read manga Reader's Choice 2024. This is kind of the first that I've heard about it. You, on the other hand, you've heard about this before, so
Mhm,
this is news to me, not news to you.
mhm.
However, if this is news to you, here's the summary. There are four categories. You should read this manga 2024, should be an anime, which is things that people are like, this should be an anime. They'll probably get an anime.
Yeah.
Very excited about it. Best for beginners, and then unique story slash art. So we will cover all four categories and we'll just kind of hop into it. But before we do, the criteria of how this list got made, I'm just going to read it straight from MyAnimeList because there's no other really kind of good way of doing it. And here it goes. You should read this manga as a yearly manga discovery list created for and by the international fan. We've curated licensed manga titles from passionate readers, MyAnimeList members, bookstore employees, and more, and asked them to nominate which manga you need to read now. Finalists are divided into the main category and three subcategories, 20 titles each. Should be anime, best for beginners, unique art and story, and unique art and story. I don't know if they know how to count. That's only oh wait, no, that is three. I thought I read four. Disregard. Every manga included is officially available outside of Japan in at least one language with one or more volumes published in 2023. Now, we're going to say that with a very large grain of salt because some of them are available to buy either via Amazon, your favorite bookstore, or Crunchyroll store, or what have you. Others are able to just kind of like stream via the Shonen Jump Viz app or the Kodansha app, which I really don't recommend the Kodansha app, but
No.
it's there. And then there are others that were just like, how? Where are we supposed to go for this? There's no links to it, and basically, it's one of those gray areas where it's like Manga Dex exists, which is it's not quite illegal, but it's not quite legal type of deal.
It is freelance translators that have copies of the actual online digital versions that they have translated into different languages. So it's not illegal. It is just not something that is directly funded and you don't have to pay for. It is all done free of charge, freelance. So
correct.
take that as is.
However which way you want. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let's hop into the list of it. Some of these are going to be familiar to you, some of these are we are very familiar with, and then some we've just never heard of.
Yep.
So starting from the top, we have Witch Hat Atelier, which you and I both absolutely love.
Yeah. We've also immediately, like, right off the top, I have an issue with the list.
Oh boy.
Um well, so we had talked about Witch Hat Atelier. Well, first off, our one of our other members of the channel, Element, had talked about it way back. I want to say like 3 years now. Like right
It's
around
been a while.
yeah. And we were like, okay, we'll look into it. And we both started reading it almost at the same time. And we were like, wow, this is excellent. Can't wait. And then shortly after we started reading it, they announced that they was going to get an anime. And we're like, oh, doubly sweet. This is going to be great. And it's been kind of peeps ever since. But this isn't anything like, it's not a news series, especially in English. Like it started getting published, like, I think in 2017 or 2018 in Japan.
It is, and it's not. This list isn't necessarily like a brand new list. It's like, hey, these are the things that we absolutely love and we are enjoying, and it
But
has a volume as of 2023.
yeah, I get that, but it's so weird looking at the rest of the list. Like as we go
That's
through the
fair.
list, it'll be more
It'll
clear. But
become a
that's
little
just
bit more apparent.
yeah, that's just kind of my initial gripe. But I mean, the series in general though is a definite you should read. I mean, I would
Yeah,
have been suggesting this ever since we started getting it published in English, physically.
I
So
won't say that it's similar to Harry Potter because the only similarities that this and Harry Potter have is that there's magic in the world.
yeah,
But like it did give me the vibes, or like it did give me the kind of excitement and just like childlike wonder that Harry Potter did when I was a kid as an adult. So like if you've been looking for a replacement of something that's not necessarily a Harry Potter, but just something that gives you that feeling of just like kind of childlike wonder. Instead of rereading Harry Potter, I would highly suggest reading this because it's just one of those things that there is a certain type of magic behind this story, and that is a pun intended.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, not to mention the art is some of the like most beautiful art I've seen in
yes,
a manga too.
this
So
should be in all four categories, but
yeah,
regardless, this is fantastic. It was
yeah,
starting out very strong. And we're going to move on to the next one. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. Now, this is a series that is brand new to the United States, anyways. I
yeah, like
believe I've seen volume one just went on sale not too long ago.
yeah, like really recent. I did, however, read I think the first couple of chapters online for this because it was recommended as like a slice of life. I think it was actually right after I had read the one that Element also suggested that we read. It's like the best rom-com, or not rom-com, excuse me, just straight
Is it the
romance.
Office Place one?
Yeah, the Office Place, like remote telework
Telework, yeah.
something. I can't remember it right now. That's already wrapped up. But it was one of those suggested ones from that series, and I had read the first few chapters. I was like, this is cool. I like it. It's basically like just a tired out businessman, Tokyo businessman, getting some reprieve with a Kobini worker.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I like it. It was
Yeah.
good. So
Volume one came out February 20th, 2024. So, like, it's brand new to the
yeah,
States.
well, we should say physically too.
Physically.
That's
This came out physically in
yeah.
the
So
States
that's
on February.
one piece I want to address too is like because some people are very particular when it comes to how they read, and I understand because I am in some regards the same, but we will try to let you know if you can find this physically or if it's basically just you got to start searching digitally.
Yeah.
Because there are a number of these that they've put on the list that are going to be harder to find. But this one should be on your list. It is if you like slice of life, very very casual. It's a good one to get into.
Yep. The next one is a bigger story that I feel like has had its own spotlight for past couple years. It's Blue Period, which was not an original. It was a anime that was made on Netflix or for Netflix.
Hmm.
Season one was fantastic. I tried reading it myself. I didn't like how I didn't like the manga as much as I liked the anime. It's a bit for me anyways, the pacing was just a little off, so I enjoyed watching it more than I enjoyed reading it,
I
but it is a very good series.
I feel like the manga that are music like and arts based are much more challenging to get through versus when they're made into an anime because a lot of the scenes don't come across the same way as probably the mangaka was hoping for on paper versus when you see it visually. It's like, oh wow, they were able to really highlight or showcase kind of what they're trying to and what they envisioned for this scene or this sequence of events. I think Blue
Yeah.
Period kind of fits that because Blue Period's all about art. So it's a lot. It's weird reading a manga that is in itself art that is about art versus seeing it on in an anime. But yeah,
Yes, but
this one's been around for some time now too.
it's a very good drama story. So if you want to get involved in that, there you go. Next up on the list, and I am very sorry about my pronunciation. That is about to happen. Gachiakuta. That this is also another very new series. First volume came out physically. By the way, Blue Period you could buy physically up to like
Yeah,
volume 11 or 12
I
or
think it's at
something like that.
I think it's at 12 now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's also on the Kodansha app, but again, I really highly advise that you avoid that app like the plague. But this series that I just mentioned, Gachiakuta, Volume One just came out in January physically. As for where to read it digitally, unsure since it is a Kodansha property. I
Yeah.
have no clue where it's gonna be.
Some of them, yeah, some of them are harder to find. But we were talking about it actually just before recording, and I was like, I think it's. You were like, oh, it looks like this, and I was like, I think it's Dead Man Wonderland. And we're both wrong. It's like this. It's the mangaka's first full
Serialized.
series. Yeah, serialized. They had done 2 one shots before, but it looks cool. Actually, this is on my list. because it does give vibes of Dead Man Wonderland with apparently some very interesting aesthetics as well. So, but yeah, volume 1 is out. I think volume 2 and 3 are up for pre-order though too, if I'm not mistaken. So
I wouldn't know, but
Ah.
actually, I'm on here. Volume 2 comes out at the end of the month, April 30th.
Hey, there you go.
So goody on you, Gachiakuta. But the next series is a series that I know that you have bought, your wife has read. I have not read it. I have actually really no interest in it. But The Summer Hikaru Died is the English title. I'm not going to try and pronounce the Japanese title, but it's a horror mystery supernatural story. What? Why are you flabbergasted?
You just said you wouldn't even try to read it.
No, the title.
Oh.
Jesus Christ!
I assume that you said you don't have any interest in reading. You said you don't have any interest.
Title. I've seen the series around. I haven't read it. I have a full 2 shelves of books that I need to read before I buy anything else.
I've got like 1.5 or 2 as well. This one though stuck out because it's on its face. It doesn't give creepy mystery vibes, but my wife read it and she was like in love. She's like, I can't wait to read more of this. When does I think we have volume 2 as well. She's like, when's volume 3 coming out? And I'm like, I don't know, calm down, you rabid beast. It'll be out soon. But no, this one's like a really good one in kind of the same. I don't want to draw direct comparisons because I don't think it's fair to either series, but like similar vibes ish to Summertime Rendering in that it's like very unsettling, very creepy, a lot of mystery behind just what is occurring, like how events are taking place. And I think that piece is, again, it's manga, horror manga, mystery manga are always just such very like finicky genres. I feel like you have like the Junji Ito, which is nothing gets better than that when it comes to just straight up horror, right? And then you get into the more of like niche ones where it's like horror mystery or horror murder or horror like whatever, and those are really hit or miss. But I feel like Summertime Rendering is an excellent one. This should be on par with that in terms of like a good horror mystery series.
Fair enough. I did just message your wife. Volume 3 came out today, so.
No! All right, well, that's on the Barnes & Noble shopping list as well.
There you go. But yeah, you could buy this physically at your local bookstore, or if you want the Amazon and you deliver to your house.
We normally try to avoid suggesting
We try to
Amazon.
avoid that, but yeah, this next series is gonna be our first one where we'll have to direct you probably towards Manga Dex, but Kono Oto Tomare? Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll go with that. We're not doing a third pronunciation, just in spite you. But yeah, it's a drama music school manga. It looks like it's one of those older instruments, the kind of like the thick plank that has a bunch of strings on it that you just like kind of pick at.
Yeah, it's not a harpsichord.
I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called, even though the thing probably has it in, like, the description probably has the name of it.
Let me see. No.
Rebuilding membership.
So it's a high school, looks like high school music club based one. So if you're into music,
I guess it's called a koto.
A koto. Well, there you go. Of the Koto Music Club. Well, is it?
But then at the last paragraph, it says become the best Koto players in the nation.
Oh, there you go. All right, Koto.
So,
there you go.
There you go. Moving on, the next one, I almost had it. Hirayasumi, which is a slice of life. This one you can buy physically on Amazon, or not Amazon. Sorry, you can buy physically at your local bookstore or wherever you get your manga. Probably. Maybe we'll see.
Maybe, yeah.
But slice of life. The cover for volume 1 looks fine.
This one it's weird that it just says slice of life. Normally you get a little bit more. Oh, that's sad. I'm gonna collapse that again. No one saw that. It's okay.
Oh, what did I just miss?
No, I on my screen for everyone that's watching, I hit the read more button to kind of get a better synopsis of what the book's about, because I'm like, oh, it looks like something cute. A grumpy yet kind elderly woman whom the main character calls Granny. And then it just stops with Hiroto's time with Granny, and I'm like, what happens? Is sadly cut short when she passes away from a heart attack. And I was like, all right, closing that. I was like, oh, I got really dark. But it looks like it has to do with kind of a little bit of grief, but also raising a family. It says Hiroto inherits Granny's house as she never married or had children. And then they kind of create like this weird patched together ragtag group of people to live in there. So that seems cute, but
Yep.
yeah. And it's just another series where I'm like, I know was not even on the radar.
No, not even a little bit.
Very odd to see. So we apologize if we don't have a lot to say, because there are number of these where we're just like, we have no idea. But if you're interested,
especially this next one.
yeah. If you're interested, though, take a look.
Yeah. So the next one, don't call it a mystery. It's obviously a mystery series, but just from the cover, what? It
says just mystery.
It's just a straight up mystery. But yeah, just from the cover alone, I can't tell if it's just an afro or a pompadour or just
I was gonna say
frizzy hair.
He's got some solid hair, so much so that I think the author's name or the name of the series is embedded in his hair, like in the nice curls. But yeah, basically, quick synopsis of it is the average college student has his morning quickly interrupted when police come knocking to question him because one of his classmates was found dead. So we'll leave it at that. That's the mystery part. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of twists and turns, just given the fact that it's a manga and, everything's crazy. Who knows? Could be time travel. Anything is possible. This next one, though.
Yes, this next one, MyAnimeList.
I have a vendetta against, though.
You haven't what?
I have a vendetta against.
Oh, yeah. Well, you and I both. But I have seen this recently at bookstores, specifically Barnes & Noble.
Mm-hmm.
I do need to pick this one up because, as you said, you and I have a little bit of a vendetta against this one. We wanted... Oh, fuck. What series was it that we wanted to win, like, best series or, like, best new series?
Well, I wanted You and I Are Polar Opposites. That's what I wanted to win.
Yeah. You can talk more about this then, because I don't remember what the awards were and what I wanted to win.
Yeah. So there are a number of manga awards that are handed out in Japan each year. It's like for like new creators, new series, continuing series. There's different associations that give awards too, but there's one big one always for like the newest serialized manga to be released, and you have to like the qualifications are you have to have like at least 2 volumes in serialization, or you have to be in serialization for a certain duration of time. And the list was pretty good because there was a number of series that I had been reading on Manga Dex that were coming out, and I was like, yeah, I know a couple of these. All right, cool. And one of them is a series that is nowhere on this list, so I'm going to talk about it now. It's called You and I Are Polar Opposites. It's a great slice of life romance comedy series. Absolutely love it. It's got a very interesting art style. It's really goofy, but it's super adorable, and I really, really wanted it to win, but MyAnimeList won. And so I was like, grr, MyAnimeList, curse you, I'll never read you, but I'm probably going to end up reading it because I know it's really good. From what I've read and what I've heard online, it's a very good series. And it's about figure skating, which it's so funny. Out of all of the series that take place on frozen sheets of ice, there's like 2 that I know of that are hockey based, and the rest are figure skating. There's the new series from the creator of Golden Kamui, Dog's Red.
Yep. That
is ice hockey, it's not only ice hockey, it is still figure skating because the main character used to be a figure skater turned hockey player. And then the only other hockey one I know is the Pureore Pride of Orange, which is the women's hockey team in Japan. So,
and the other figure skater shonen series, the 2 on Ice, that actually just ended this past weekend. Yeah,
there's 2 on Ice. I mean, there's obviously Yuri on Ice. I think there's a couple of other figure skating ones too that are a bit older, if memory serves. So, yeah, this one though, I am probably gonna end up picking up because I've only heard good things about.
Yeah. I've been like
I was like,
furiously trying to
you are.
find
I don't know what's.
what the nominees were for this category
All
because
right,
like I can just find the
you.
winners. I cannot find any of the fucking other nominees, and it's bugging the shit out of me.
All right, well, while you do that, I'm gonna go on to the next one to keep this
You
moving
go on to
along.
the
So the
next
next one is Magus of the Library. It's a fantasy one. If I had to guess, it'd probably be isekai, or it might just be straight fantasy. Um, looks like
It
maybe
looks just
it might just
it
be
looks
straight
straight
fantasy.
fantasy.
Yeah, Central Library and Avskach, City of Books.
You want to repeat that one again?
No, because it's the only vowels are A's. There's no other vowels. It's Avzach. And there's a T in there. Yeah, it's called the City of Books, but I read a sentence that just says, to make his matters worse, he's continually bullied by his peers. Oh, due to his unusually long ears. What? That's a very unfortunate. Okay. Yeah. This seems. For some reason, it's giving a sentence of a bookworm vibes, but not the isekai version. I get just straight fantasy version. Art looks really beautiful, though. I will say on the cover, it looks very pretty. There's a lot of stuff happening, and it's all really well captured. So this one, probably not. I'm not a big fan of just straight fantasy, which is odd to say because I do enjoy Frieren, but I'm very particular when it comes to like my fantasy stuff. Like for instance, I absolutely adore reading The Hobbit. I'll read The Hobbit every day and every night if I could and wanted to. I cannot read Lord of the Rings. I can't read Game of Thrones. I can't read like those. Just I don't know why they just bore the fuck out of me.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah, for the love of me, I cannot find these
yeah,
nominations. So I'm just gonna drop it and move on with you.
I assume because I need you to help me with the next one since you've actually read this one.
Yes, I am way far behind on this one, but Kindergarten Wars. This is a series that is on Manga Plus. If you don't know what Manga Plus is, it is basically Shueisha made an app outside of the Viz app and the Shonen Jump app, and has Shonen Jump stuff on it as well as like stuff that they're testing out. And this is one of those series that they were kind of testing out. It's not on Shonen Jump. It's not on the Viz app. It's on this. If you want to read everything, you can read everything on there once for free, and then after like the first 6 chapters, if you open a chapter, that's it. You read it once, and unless you pay for a subscription, you can't read it again. And this is one of those series. So like I've read it very sparsely because I know that as soon as I open a chapter, if I don't read or finish it before closing the app, I'm screwed. But this is a great, funny, goofy little series. It's about basically assassins and hitmen who have just been jailed or caught and jailed, and in order to work down their sentence, they are hired at a kindergarten to protect like the world's elite babies. So they're just like basically kindergarten teachers and nannies and whatnot at just this school, and all these other hitmen and assassins try and kidnap the children or kill the children to try and extort money out of their parents. And it's these assassins just trying to stop them and protect the children, all the while the main character's trying to find a boyfriend because she's never been in a relationship. So it's just goofy, it's funny, it's a good time. It's nothing to be taken seriously. I thoroughly enjoy the series.
It's so funny that you say that because I'm reading the like comment from the individual that I guess recommended it or at least provided some feedback, and it says it's a funny series and then turns into very heartbreaking and epic tale, and you're like, it's just goofy and funny and it's very lighthearted. And I'm like, one of you is a liar. One of you didn't read the right manga.
One of us is sorely mistaken, but I've only read the first 37 chapters, so you've at least got 37 chapters of fun.
There you go.
So, yeah. But moving on, the fragrant flower, oh, Jesus Christ, fragrant flower blooms with dignity.
There you go.
Never heard of it. There's no buy button, so this is one of those ones that is just like, good luck.
Yeah. Seems like a very standard high school romance drama.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. It's probably very good, but I'm good.
Yeah. In the clear moonlit dusk.
Is our next series. This is a romance school, and it almost looks like you can throw the vampire tag in there because holy hell, these people are pasty. Go get some sun.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so this is okay. So the picture is misleading because the description says that her female classmates squeal in an admiration and awe. She has been dubbed the school's prince, quote unquote, by virtue of her boyishly attractive appearance and casual disposition.
Okay, good on them.
Cool.
All
right.
It's just not my cup of tea. But...
I also read further down. It says she chooses to be indifferent toward the attention she receives. That is until the school's other prince, Kohaku Ichimura, waltzes into her life and calls her beautiful. It seems like now this is just a series about two really pretty people being together.
Great.
Oh yeah, good for you. Good for you. Good for you.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. Good for you. All right. Moving on.
Frickin' do. The next series, Orb on the Movements of the Earth.
I'm not going to lie. If you look at the manga cover real quick and don't know what's happening, it looks like he's hanging himself.
A little bit of that, but it also reminds me of, and I'm sorry I'm not remembering the actual person's name, but in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Caesar Zeppeli?
The what?
Caesar Zeppeli?
No, I was thinking the manga artist.
Oh, Akari.
Fuck, I can't. Yeah,
Akari.
From part 4.
Oh, you're talking about the actual, like the manga artist in part 4.
Yeah.
It's
He's got his own
Rohan
spin-off.
Kashibe.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just always reminds me of Rohan. But
nothing about him looks like Rohan. I don't know what you're looking at. We're like, it's another one of those situations of Frank is looking at something totally different than what I am. All right.
It might just be the eyeball. I don't know. This has been on my potential list for a while. I've seen the book here and there, and I'm just like, I know this has been on lists. I know this is a good series. I've not sucked it up to buy an omnibus because that's the only way you can buy it. There's two omnibuses and there's 2 volumes in each. So there's I think a total of there's 4 volumes. But
sorry, I have to stop this because you've been searching for so long. Was the new serialized manga that was up correspondence from the end of the universe or whatever, correspondence from the other side of the universe? Was that the one that was up?
From the end of the universe? I don't know if that one was up, but that one was fantastic.
Sorry,
fantastic.
I read a portion of the synopsis and I was like, I had like one of those like coming out of the fucking like tank. Just I had a vision.
But yeah, the first 4 volumes are out. The next 2 volumes are coming out in August in the United States. This is getting an anime. It's scheduled for this year, but there's no time frame as if it's summer or fall.
This one and this one seems interesting enough too. Like I will say, I'm getting more and more into the historical ones, and I think Apothecary Diaries is what kind of kicked it off. I have it again. It's one of those genres that I'm very finicky about and picky about because I am quite selective in what I find interesting in terms of historical anime. Because sometimes it's like something like your boy Kong Ming is really funny because it's technically historical because it's about the Chinese strategist, right? Kong Ming.
Yeah.
Like so like that part, and then he like gets transported to the future, and now he's basically a manager for a J-pop artist. Like that's funny to me, right? But that's not like historical. Something like Apothecary Diaries is more in the line with the historical piece, and it's interesting. What was the Happy Marriage? My Happy Marriage. I think that's technically historical to some degree. There's another couple other ones that came out that are like deemed like in the historical category. I'm like, no. This one though is interesting enough because it's things that I find intriguing in terms of like it says 15th century and it's all about theology and stuff. Like that's cool. So this will be on my list.
And this series is completed. It's 8 volumes long total. So hopefully the last 2 omnibuses come out. What?
I moved on to the next one already because we got to get a move on.
All right, yeah, we do gotta speed this up, so we're just gonna kind of blast through a few of these. I want to end this love game. It's a comedy romance school. I've actually seen Volume One out and about in like Barnes and Noble and whatnot,
Yeah.
and Kinokuniya. I haven't bought it. I didn't really have an interest in it,
It
so I just
it seems like the
yeah.
poor man's version of Kaguya-sama.
Oof.
Because
Okay.
it says they take turns saying "I love you" when they're in sixth grade. 4 years later, after entering high school, the two are still trying to one up the other and claim victory. Tender feelings bloomed into their hearts. The simple. So it's like it's one of those situations where they both are like, "I love you," but now it's like I have to love you the bestest. Also, the
Hmm.
cover's really weird because she's like being all shy and coy, but yanking on his fucking tie, and he's like, "Excuse me." He's got like hand
He's
on
almost
hip.
he's
Like,
almost got the
"Sorry,
like
excuse me."
mate.
Excuse me. Yeah. This one seems
But
interesting,
yeah,
but
I'm good. I don't need it. But it's out physically.
yeah.
Volume 2 comes out later this year.
Question mark?
Uh, question mark? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, May 14th.
There you
So
go. Next one.
moving on, the case study of Vanitas. I've seen this around. I know it has an anime.
It's got a couple seasons now, I think. I think two
I believe
seasons.
so. It's at least one or two, or it's at least two, I believe.
Yeah.
But this one has just never piqued my
No,
interest. It's a
'cause
vampire one, and
it's
it really
it hits three categories that are well, two categories that are my finicky piece, and then it just adds in a category called vampire.
Mhm.
Which I hate. I hate that vampire is now a category, but yeah, this one I've heard good things about the anime. It's again, it's just one of those series that I'm like, it's just doesn't check the boxes for me.
Yeah, agreed. So we're gonna just move on. This one though, Firefly Wedding. I've never heard of this. This is a romance historical, but from the cover, I could do this. This
I
this might.
have, I have actually. I think this is an anime that's coming out because I think I actually saw a trailer for it. So it's basically this person gets kidnapped and one of them being
There's
this says assassin. He's supposed to kill her, and basically he just bribes her and says, "All right, guess what? I won't kill you if you marry me." And then he just kills everyone else, and he's like supposedly the best and most powerful like assassin at the time. Um,
well, you're also a liar, liar, pants on fire. This is not an anime.
no, no,
There's
no.
no announcement of it.
Then I man, there was something very similar, but
They had a commercial promoting the release
okay.
of the second volume.
That might have been it then, because I saw something like where basically this woman gets kidnapped, and then this dude's like, "I will kill everyone around you, including you, unless you marry me." And she was like, "Okay." And he's like, "I'll take good care of you." She's like, "All right, I believe you. I'll marry you." And then he just fucking murders everyone in a split second. And he's like, "Cool." And he's just covered in blood. This one seems
Yeah.
interesting.
This one, I like the cover art, but looking like online just very briefly, this is one of those. I've never really heard of Comic Key, but it's on Comic Key.
Mm,
Otherwise, I would just say Manga Dex because
yeah.
it's yeah, you can't really find it. It's not out physically, that's for sure.
Yep.
But we're gonna move on. Daemons of the Shadow Realm. This is the new series done by the mangaka of Full Metal Alchemist. Arakawa Hiromu.
There you
God,
go. You got there.
we got there. Yeah, no, I'd be interested in reading this. I forgot that they had a new series out.
Yeah.
I'll say relatively new series because it's been 30 some odd chapters, so it's been half a year.
I
Um,
I remember the announcement when she announced that there was going to be a new series, and I had read through the like first little synopsis of it, and I I was really excited, but I kind of started giving off like Full Metal Alchemist vibes, and I was like,
mhm.
no, I want something new from you, but it still looks good. So
Yeah, the first 4 volumes are out in the United States as of 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
So yeah, if you like the art from Full Metal Alchemist, there's a new series done by
well, I mean,
the
just
mangaka.
even just the series Full Metal Alchemist. I mean, the writing in it's still going to be great too. So
True. The next series is one that I've seen, but I just not necessarily have an interest in it. It's just it's a slice of life. It's I think our son is gay. It's basically between two parents who don't know what if their son is gay, essentially, but they try to be supportive. and so
Hmm.
it's just a slice of life. I will say the art is adorable and cute, but I've just had no real want to read this.
Yeah, it hasn't been on my list either, but I see it in bookstores everywhere I go.
Oh yeah,
So it's definitely it's one of those slice of life where it's very specific, and I feel like you have to have some intrigue or interest in like this sort of aspect of family life to pick this up. But it is good. I've all these ones that we have heard of, we've only heard good things about. So this is another one that
correct.
if you're interested, I'd go pick it up.
Yep, and the last one, Heavenly Delusion. If you don't know about this series got an anime last year. It was up for anime of the year, amongst other categories. This was a great series. My descriptor of this series when we were talking about our favorite series last year, my
Wildly off.
descriptor of this was wildly off. It wasn't until like the next day that I was thinking to myself, I was like, critically, like, what the hell was that series? And then I was like, oh yeah, no, whatever I said, completely wrong. And I was just like, ah, crap. But this is a great series. I do highly recommend watching the anime. It is on Hulu, but if you want to watch or buy the volumes, you can. I'm not sure how many are out, but
I want to say
great.
there's 4. I want to say there's only 4.
Okay,
I
but
could
it
be
is
totally
a great
wrong.
mystery series. I do thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
But we have 3 other categories. We are just going to kind of blast through them since some of them are
I
repeats and others are just kind of just shonens.
Oh, I was gonna say we should just give other samples of series that we would suggest reading
That's fair.
because the should be anime. We'll go through it real quick. Best for beginners category was pretty poor, and the unique story and art, no one's gonna know anyone except maybe like 2.
There's
So
a handful that we know in the unique story and art, and one of them is like I'm really only interested in about one of them,
yeah, but we'll go through should be anime real quick. Again, it's everything that you'd think of Sakamoto Days.
which
Um,
is confirmed to have an anime coming out. It's just
just
not out yet. It's in
yeah.
production.
There's that same the
Ch-
fragrant flower blooms with dignity. There's an anime that's
yep.
coming out this season that when we previewed it, I was like, this is your standard drama, romance, school anime. I'm not gonna watch it. And it was like literally just a guy and a girl walking in front of another group of guys and another group of girls. And I'm like, sure, this is just kind of in that same boat for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Chojin X, this one I've read the first 2 volumes of. It's pretty dang good, and I really enjoyed it. I just need to continue reading it.
yeah.
So I would suggest it. It's an action kind of supernatural action series. The biggest one on this list that I think you and I both would. Well, there's a few more now that I scroll
No,
down.
there's a few.
There's a few. Goku Rakugai is
Yes.
a series on Shonen Jump. I just bought volume 1. I put out a TikTok of where I unboxed the recent manga that I've purchased, and this one was one of them. I highly suggest this series. It is very good.
This was an excellent series for sure. Boys Abyss, not sure.
The
We have
Boys
Kindergarten
Abyss, I
Wars.
have the first like 3 volumes. I have yet to
Oh,
read it, but the next one, Die Dark. Die Dark is
yes.
absolutely something you should be reading, and I cannot wait for the day that it gets an
If
anime.
if you're not familiar, it's the same mangaka as Dorohedoro. So,
Yes,
uh,
it's just a goofy, fun,
oh
dark
yeah. If you
action.
enjoyed Dorohedoro for the goofiness, you should read Die Dark because it's in my opinion it's even more like quirky and
Way better.
ridiculous.
It's also just way better in
It
my
it
opinion.
is it is yeah, better too. Marriage
The
Toxin.
next one, I'm caught up as of today for Marriage Toxin. It's one of my favorite series on Manga Plus. It's a great series. It's goofy. It's fun.
Yeah.
So that
Diamonds of the
one,
Shadow Realm.
yep. Diamonds of the Shadow Realm. Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. This is another Manga Plus title. I dropped it after about 9 or 10 chapters. It just wasn't my thing. The Summer You Were There is a girls' love school story. I have not read it, never heard of it, don't know where you can read it, so I would check Manga Plus. Or
Again,
not Manga Plus, Manga Dex.
this season, spring season, is full of good girls love series. Some
Yes.
specifically girls love, some just girl adventure. So if you need to satiate your appetite for girls love anime, just look at like a bunch of titles this season. There's really good ones out.
Whisper Me a Love Song is the one that stands out.
Yep.
That's going to be on High Dive. I do need to watch that episode 1 because I have not watched it yet.
Yeah. I can also see the shoot, what is it? Nighttime jellyfish? What the hell is it called?
Jellyfish don't swim
Jelly
swim alone at night or
Yeah,
whatever.
yep. I can see that one turning into like again, like it's pseudo. It's not like entirely obviously like geared around girls' love, but
Yeah.
I can
But
see
the
that a
summer
lot.
you were there, I like the art. I do like the art
Yes.
from the covers, so this might
It's
be one that I do check out.
it's giving Shikamori is not just a cutie. Is that what it's called?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of giving that vibe, which I do like the art in that too.
Which hopefully it's not giving that vibe too much because I read all of it and it's not very good.
Yeah, not yeah, just the art we'll say.
The
Which
next
watch?
one, yeah, I was gonna say the next one, Magus of the Library.
Yeah.
Talk about Witch Watch. I've read the first few volumes on Shonen Jump. This is a just goofy, fun series. I do like this one, and I do believe it's been confirmed for an anime.
It has.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun one whenever it comes out. It's a good time. I think I turned my childhood friend into a girl.
So
There
boys
you
love.
go. Boys love comedy.
Yep.
So if that interests you, there you go. Okay, let's try this one. Togen Anki.
Yep.
Never heard of it. Don't know where you can read it, but good luck.
There's just a bunch of guns on. Okay. Well, moving on.
Yeah. After God, this piques my interest a lot. This looks more horror than action fantasy. This looks
Weird. Yeah, it does. But weird enough. You want to know stylistically what the cover is giving me?
Hell's Paradise.
Yeah, you read my mind, baby.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
It doesn't state where you can read it though, so it's probably going to be one that you have to just scour the internet for.
Yes, and that one again is called After God.
Oh God.
The last few we have The King's Beast as a drama fantasy
This looks
romance.
like Kami-sama Kiss. Maybe it's just because the lead character looks like Tomoe.
Sure.
I
go
have
with
heard
that?
of this one. I have heard of this one.
All right, then you cover this one.
Love's in Sight. It's a delinquent guy that gets basically just captured by this younger girl. But he yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So I'll read really quickly. An infamous delinquent who's won many fights against others older than him. He comes across a girl with extremely poor vision, refusing to be intimidated by him. She falls deeply in love with, which causes him to fall deeply in love with her. And then it's really funny. It's kind of on par with oh God, my wife's reading this series and I think it's nearby too. It's like I'm in love with the baddest girl, something like that, or I'm in love with the baddest boy, something along those lines. It's in line with that, but this one looks much like cuter and more innocent.
Sure. And then we have your light novel type title,
Holy
which is super
crap.
long. Though I am an inept villainess, Tale of the Butterfly, Rat Body Swap in the Maiden Court. Is
That
a
has
fantasy
to be a-
romance villainess. This
That-
has definitely got to be a light novel.
Well, but it also has to be a really poor translation. I also first read it as Tale of the Butterfly Fat Body Swap, and I was like, that's not appropriate. And then I was like, oh, Rat Body, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think that is a translation error because on Seven Seas Entertainment
That's how
series,
it's called.
though I am an inept
right,
villainess,
all right.
Tale of the Butterfly, Rat Body Swap in the Maiden Court.
They should put historical too. It looks like in a kingdom inspired by historical China.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's in the same vein of like Apothecary Diaries, which it's not actual events taking place, but it is somewhat accurate to the time period that it's placed in. So yeah, the villainous ones are never in my wheelhouse. That's definitely more in line with my wife. So
yeah. There are two other categories: the best for beginners and unique story / art. We kind of mentioned that they weren't the greatest of lists.
yeah.
Not in the sense that the story or the series that are on there are bad. The unique story / art, I think we've only heard of a handful, so I have to look more into that one to really just kind of give a glimpse as to
And a lot of them aren't sold like physically
Correct.
yet. You have to find them online. So
Yeah, but the best for beginners is one of those things that they have really great series on here.
yes.
But by no way, shape, or form would I ever recommend this to somebody reading manga, like starting to read manga. Because like you have Oshinoko on here, and if you don't know what Oshinoko is,
It's a tough
don't.
read.
It's very odd.
Yeah.
And that's putting it nicely.
Yeah.
But like you have things like that and just Dark Gathering, which I wouldn't recommend to a newbie. To a newbie. It's just some of these things are just not the great like greatest newbie things, like especially early Moroku-chan, and that's on this list as well. Like
Agreed.
it's very fan servicey and not necessary. It eventually gives way to something better, but it's not something I would suggest to somebody getting into manga.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
if you want to take a look at that list, you can. All of this is accessible via MyAnimeList, so go check it out. Thank you all for joining us this week. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around this long. We will be back next week with a brand new anime or a brand new episode. However, if you want short form content, we upload daily on YouTube and TikTok for our shorts. But until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.